Hey, what's up, Jungle Force Gang, man? Back with another video, and today's topic is a real talk video, and the topic is essentially why you should not have kids unless you're absolutely ready and financially stable, right? So again, before we get started, the reason why I'm doing these real talk videos is to shed light and just share my opinion on certain topics that I personally believe in, and this is one of them. This is not to throw shade. This is not to, talk down on people who so happen to have kids in that situation. It's not the best. This is just me giving, the best advice that I can possibly give. And I know for some of you, it might be like, yo, I thought you was a food, thought you were an anime channel. Well, in reality, my channel is called Jungle Force Entertainment. So I want to entertain you guys as well as inform you guys, right? And the reason why I call my channel Jungle Force is because I believe everybody's life is like a jungle. There's different moving parts in everybody's lives, and so I'm not just an anime head, I'm not just a cooking head, I'm not just a skit head. There's a multitude of things that I like to do, and giving advice and having those discussions is a part of who I am as an individual. So with that being said, let's get on into today's discussion. So being a black man in America, and I don't really want to just make this about being race, because there are white people. I know white people who has a single mother who is struggling just as much as the next person. I know Mexicans and everybody. So let me just rephrase that. I'm just a person who's so happened to be black, and I have a single mother, right? Love my mother. I think she does a wonderful job, but there's other people who's in the similar position as me, who is not so lucky. And even me with a wonderful mother, there's been struggle, there've been growing pains that I had to deal with growing up with a single parent household. And so my thing is, I see a lot of people in today's society that is just having kids. Now, not accidents. No, I'm talking about, your Google eyes with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever the case may be. And y'all just say, oh yeah, let's just have a kid, man. You young, you 18, 19, and you don't even have a place of your own. You don't got a stable income, yet you decide to bring another life in in the world, man. I think that is not really helping anybody. That's not helping yourself. That's not helping your kid. Like I said, for me personally, man, even though I have so much respect for my parents, my father haven't been, fully in my life, but I don't think he's a bad person. There have definitely been some growing pains, and the more I think about it, the more I get older, the more I realize, dang, man, when I have a kid, I don't want to have a kid unless I'm, fully stable to provide the lifestyle for that kid, to be able to raise that kid. Because it's one thing to just buy stuff for kids. See, a lot of people think just because you got money, you can just buy things. No, you gotta provide them, with the essentials, but you also gotta teach them. As a parent, you're your kid's first teacher. You know what I'm saying? And so when you bring a child into this world, and let's just say you're not financially stable, you don't even have enough money to feed yourself, your kid is just going to struggle. I hear a lot of parents saying, man, I sacrifice all of, stop right there. You shouldn't really have to sacrifice nothing, because you should have had already had a stable life before you brought that kid in. And so parents like to make this sob story about how much they sacrifice in order to help their kid to succeed, but it shouldn't really be a sacrifice. You shouldn't have to sacrifice anything for your child, because you should be already situated before having a kid. When you say you sacrifice, what does the kid supposed to say to that? The kid didn't ask to be here. The kid didn't choose you as their mother. The kid didn't choose you as their father. The kid didn't choose you. You chose the kid by creating the kid with whoever you decided to create the kid with. You know what I mean? So that I don't understand where parents start to blame kids. Now, at a certain age, when a kid is grown, all the choices that their kid made, if they're an adult, they gotta figure it out, and hopefully they don't, make the same mistakes as their parents. And for me, I'm not trying to have a kid unless I am able to fully give that kid my all, and I can provide that kid with the best, lifestyle essentials that they essentially need to survive in this world. Right now, I feel like I'm just as a human being, and from the friends that I have friends that we have these discussions, like, man, like, we love our parents, but at the same time we feel like we all alone in this bubble. My mother, my father, they didn't know anything about college, so they couldn't really redirect me or tell me what college or anything is best for me. They couldn't aid in that process. They tried their best, obviously, but they couldn't really give me the information that I essentially needed. And me and my friends, we were just talking, and we was like, man, like, we don't have the level of knowledge about the world that other people, other parents, other kids have, right? We went to college, and you see, kids driving Lamborghinis, and you like, dang, what's going on? And so they can focus solely on their career because their parents is providing the financial aspect. Now, going back to why you can't just buy, because there was a lot of assholes. There's a lot of assholes in society, and so it's not just about buying and providing them the best lifestyle possible, but also having that sincere kindness and just teaching them, just proper etiquette, how to speak to people, how to talk to people, how to communicate. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, just because you're wealthy and you're doing well for yourself, doesn't mean you just gotta be a dick. And in today's society, it's like you either have a kid and just spoil the kid, and then that kid become a shitty rich person, or you live in a poor environment, and the parent itself is actually not a bad person. But I used to be a PE teacher, for example, and some of the kids, I was like, dang, your parent gotta be, you know what I'm saying? You must get it from your parent. Then I meet the parent, I'm like, dang, what happened? But it's like they working so hard just to make ends meet, and there's nobody to really guide these kids. So the middle class to maybe even the low income class kids are just buck wilding because they have no guidance. They're already struggling, but then their parents is not even there. So it's like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And so I want more people to just realize the importance of actually having a kid. The importance of just, understanding that a kid is a big responsibility. I'm not saying you're going to be a perfect parent. Nobody's going to be a perfect parent. And as long as you tried your absolute best, and you tried your best to put them in situations that, will, benefit your child, you did your job. But if you know that you just had a kid because you felt like having a kid, but you knew you wasn't ready for a kid, I'm not going to say, hey, man, you're a terrible person. But what I am going to say is, you're going to have to make it work. You're going to have to stop, comparing your kids to other kids. You're going to have to stop making it seem like your kid owe you, when you put yourself and the kid into a toxic situation. But yeah, man, this is just something that I'm very passionate about, because I see it time and time again where kids is being blamed for things that the adults should have, obviously taught their kids, right? Like, I know we talk a lot about this generation is so messed up. Why is the generation so messed up? A baby don't just come into this world wicked, evil, or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the environment that this kid is being raised in, man. So how are we talking about this generations? There's no fathers in the household. Mothers are raising kids, and going back to that, like, there are mothers out there who try to hide their kid from their fathers, and there are fathers out there who just shitty fathers. So we need to tighten that up, man, before even thinking about having a kid. But yeah, like, we talk about this generation, we talk about how bad this generation is, but in reality, this generation just don't have no guidance. And the idea, when you have a kid, ideally you want your kid to surpass your parents. So think of it like this: if you a so-called street gangster thug, whatever, right? And you the biggest name popping, and your kid is trying to surpass you, but because you such a thug, you end up landing yourself in jail. And in the process of your kid trying to out thug you, because that's what he knows, that's how he feel like, oh man, my dad was this big bad gangster, I'm going to try to be this big bad gangster. Oh, but my daddy, he's in jail, and so he can't guide me to be the big bad gangster that he was. This kid is going to try to leech and become something completely different on his own, and probably end up in a worse outcome. You know, the father in prison, he can't go and tell his son or his daughter, yo, this life is not for you. They gonna just be like, oh, my father was this. I hear all these stories about, you know, my father or whatnot, or even mother. And I want to imitate that, and I want to surpass that in what they do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people talking about, man, back in my day, gangs wasn't like this. Well, they not like how it was in your day, because the people who used to run the gangs back in your day now are in jail, or they trying to provide a completely different lifestyle for their kids. And so the kids coming up into these so-called gangs, they have no idea what to essentially do. So now they just going crazy. But if somebody was there to, a parent, a father, a mother was truly there to just say, no, not my son, not my daughter, I guarantee a lot of this stuff will stop. At the end of the day, it really comes down to just parents not really understanding, or not even trying to become better parents. A lot of people say, man, kids don't listen nowadays. They don't listen because when they was like 5 years old, 10 years old, there was red flags that this kid was going to be a handful, but you didn't deal with it at that point in time. And now when they 15 to 18, or even young adults, 20, 21, you're trying to control what they already are. It's hard to change the mindset of a teenager. It's hard to change the mindset of a young adult. You're going to have to let life whoop their ass to essentially get them to change. But it's easier to change a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old. It's easier to mold them into being a young adult. You know what I'm saying? So again, I just applaud everybody, every parent who took the time to really think about bringing another life into this into society, and I applaud them for actually taking the time out to actually, you know, teach their kid to be a better version of themselves. Not just give them things that they wish they have, but give them knowledge that they wish they have. So with that being said, if you guys have any topics about more real talks in the near future, drop it in the comment section below. If you guys have any questions, or have any opinions about this topic, drop it in the comment section below. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching until the end, and you guys have a blessed one. Peace.